Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Shark30 here, and welcome to another video from the channel. Today, we're going to be checking out the newest god added into Smite here on the PTS, Erland Shen, our newest warrior. And he's pretty interesting. Alright, so, let me get into the build I put on him for the time being. I'm rocking out the two new actives that I'll talk about in another video, but I have just Warrior Tabi, Chin Size, Higher than Nemean Lion, Genji's Guard, along with Executioner and Malice. I feel like he'll be more of a damage dealing warrior, somewhat like Osiris or Chak. Someone to really be in the middle of the fight. And so you're going to need defense, but he has a lot of healing and a good amount of lockdown. And I really feel like he's going to be really strong. I'm not completely sure if he's going to be broken, but he's going to be exceptionally strong at what he does, and probably a top pick for a little while. They may have to address him, but let's get into his passive. And his passive is Howling Celestial Dog, little pupper sitting right next to me, cutest little thing. And what it does is it hits every time I hit. So when I make a strike, he makes a strike, and he hits for 15% of my physical damage, and also anything that I have on me. He also applies it to the enemy with 15% of its normal power. So if I were to sell this Nemean Lion and pick up a Frostbound Hammer, and I was to hit, he would also reapply the stack of Frostbound. I think that's how it works, but he may have a stack of Frostbound on him as well. But he does hit when I hit, he does damage when I do damage, and it's really nice. Now, something they did talk about on the patch notes is if I were to hit, see, he does have a little delay after I hit. So if I were to hit and then the enemy were to jump, he would run to his the enemy's jump spot. He wouldn't teleport there, but he would run there and then get his hit in. But if the enemy gets too far away before he gets his hit in, he'll just come running back to me, kind of like Cold Ear. Because he can't get too far away from me. He'll just Let's get into his first ability. It's Spot Weakness. He opens his third eye and analyzes the strength and weaknesses of the enemies. Basically, what it does is gives him a physical steroid, increasing his physical damage on his basic attacks. Also, he ignores the basic attack movements speed penalty, kind of like Osiris's passive. And so he can move at full speed while attacking. He also does bonus damage in this state. Also, while successful hit basic attacks reduce the cooldown of his one by 1 second per hit, and it does also work while it's active. I think they may change that because that's a little strong, because you can do it over and over and over again, one right after the other. But yeah, so that's what it does. Extra damage. No extra attack speed, just damage. And you can see the dog getting a little crit too. The little 70, the lower number, that's him. He also has a chin size proc as well. So if he has a chin size proc, I guess he has his Frostbound proc as well. So that's interesting. Okay. So second ability, Ping. What he does is he throws a spear, and English is difficult. He throws a spear. Any enemy in the dead center of the throw gets crippled and rooted, not stunned, just crippled and rooted in place, and anyone on the outside just takes the damage. So as you can see, here's the targeter. It's kind of like, you can imagine it like Poseidon's ult, and what he does is he throws it, and when it lands, this Odin was crippled and rooted, and it goes from the duration of the cripple and root goes from 1.15 seconds to 1.75, so it doesn't have too large of scaling, but it does scale a bit, gaps that much. But I do know his kit buys a lot from other gods, and one of those things you can see here, once again, is 72 transformations they re-added to the game, only in a different way, kind of like Sun Wukong, but he has different animals and he does it in a kind of different way. But in 72 transformations, Erland Shen can transform from a mink or turtle, and he damages In his mink form, he damages enemies, stopping on the first one, kind of like Sun Wukong's tiger. And in the turtle, he knocks up enemies. And also at the end of his path, he gains a shield on him for, I'm not completely sure how much. Shield, 215 health shield. So it's a pretty decent shield. It can protect you from like one ability late game and maybe 2 or 3 early game, which is quite nice. All right, so let's see. Here it is. You can only turn into 2 monsters instead of 3 like Sun Wukong. I don't want to get blinded by that Raw over there. So we'll try out the turtle here. So he turns into a turtle, and you can see he runs forward really fast. It's an extremely fast turtle. He runs forward, knocking up enemies in his path, and at the end you see I got a shield for 215 health. And it stays on me for 12 seconds, and then disappears. So we can't keep the shield, but it's for like, the turtle's more for like initiation and going in. So I wouldn't expect the shield to be kept. Alright, and here's the mink. He flies along as the mink. He doesn't hit the ground though, and he stops at the first enemy god. Also, at the end of the mink's duration, he gains an attack speed buff. So that's where his attack speed comes from. He does a lot of damage. That's why I expected him to be an assassin first time I saw him on the PTS, but he's actually a warrior. And you'll see the warrior qualities come out with him in his ultimate. But let me show the mink one more time. He goes forth, hits with the mink, gets his attack speed buff. And yeah, pretty nice. Alright. So, let's go on to his 9-turn blessing. Shen taunts nearby enemies. It's a really large cone, and he gains damage mitigation after the ability has ended for 4 seconds. And if he is still alive, so I guess they're saying he may not be alive after he uses this, because it's a pretty dangerous move. It's Athena's taunt. But if he is still alive and you manage to make it through that, he is healed for a flat amount plus 20% of his maximum health. So if you could see there, the heal is 510 at its max rank, plus 483, which is 20% of my maximum health. And the taunt lasts for 1.2 seconds, and the damage mitigation is 15%. Costs 100 mana, and the cooldown is 75 seconds. Well, 76.5 seconds, but it's whatever. Alright, so here it is. It's a pretty large cone around him, much larger than Athena's taunt. And if I grab these guys here, they come towards me, and at the end, I get a heal. So, that's what happens. It does have a little conjuring time to it, casting time, from when you activate the ability and when the taunt finally applies, but it's not too long. I think it's like 0.5 seconds. I don't think they say that there. No, but there is some time, so bear that in mind. You can't just activate it and then it instantly pulls them. But I'm gonna take some damage here to the fire giant. I'm gonna wait for my ultimate to come back up. I want to show you how the heal looks, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. I took a lot of damage, and here is the ultimate once again. I'll pull them towards me. And at the end, look at that heal. It's about 50% of my health right now with the build I have going on. That's a really big heal. That could turn a fight. Alright, so that's Shen. That's his full kit. And let me show you some of his voice back.
Woohoo! You're impressive. Bravery always prevails. I'm warning you. My dog has more honor than you. I remember when I took my dog to the flea circus. He stole the show. I'd show you my turtle form, but I wouldn't want to shell shock you.
Alright, that was bad. We're gonna stop right there. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed, a rating would be very much appreciated. Hopefully I should have a game of him coming out sometime soon, either a 1v1 or in another normal match. But if you enjoyed, a rating would be very much appreciated. But until next time, everybody, peace.